So today we're going through negotiation strategies from Getting to Yes by Roger Fisher and William Ury. So the first point is to avoid a thing called trench warfare. This is basically when you think of the whole negotiation process as a I will win, you will lose, rather than a win-win situation. Or in other words, like a sort of competition-based thing, rather than a cooperation, which it should be. Once it gets turned into a competition, people tend to act irrationally, and both parties end up losing out in the end. It's important to keep emotions out of it as much as possible to avoid this conflict, and keep it as a solution-based exercise rather than a competition. Before you start the negotiations, it's good to have each party's underlying needs in mind. So if we take the example of a person trying to sell a product to a retail store, these would be the following interests. So, firstly, the retail store want the product to sell. So in order to achieve this, you could show them sales statistics from previous retailers that you've sold with, or you could show them sales statistics from your own websites, or you could show how it's better than competitors, and also why customers would want it over another product. They also want their customers to be happy and satisfied with the product. So in order to prove that your product's good, you could show them reviews from customers, or possibly even surveys if you haven't actually launched the product yet. They also want your product to fit in with their store, so you could research and suggest which department it could fit in, and also suggest products that they already have that could complement your product quite well. This is also won't confuse the customer, and it keeps with their brand image that they want. They also obviously want profits out of this, so in order to come to this, you have to agree on a price that makes them profit, but then also obviously you can't just give it away for free. Finally, they want to reduce the risk. So you can demonstrate this by showing that it is selling in your store or other people's store, so there's less of a chance of it going wrong. Perhaps you could offer them a tester thing where they can take less volume or for a lower price, but only for the first order, so you get a second order in if they hit a certain amount of sales or certain criteria that you can decide on between yourselves. You could agree on the price for the repeat order if it all goes right for them, because then they're more likely to buy again because there's no risk next time. Now from your point of view as the product owner, so first things first, obviously you want to make a profit out of this, which is basically the volume you sell times the price you sell it for. You want your product image to remain by not selling to untrustworthy retailers or retailers that aren't in general suitable for you. So if you're going high end, you wouldn't go for eBay or something because that's lower end. And finally, you'll want repeat orders, so you want to be thinking about this during a negotiation. Mention this to them several times during it, because this is what brings the most profits: repeat orders, long-term business. So if you're the retailer buying a product, you'd obviously switch these things around. The next is to outline the options before you go searching for solutions. For example, in this scenario, you'll be thinking about the price, volume, and why it will sell. And they'll come back with counter offers with lower volumes and lower prices for them. Before you go in, plan out several solutions so you're prepared and you can get the best deal. Like I said before, ideally you'd be thinking about long-term business. So again, you might be discussing two different offers. There's the first order and then future orders. He says to always back these solutions up with evidence and reasons and keep emotions out of it at all costs. So again, make sure you're prepared. These reasons are the things that I was talking about earlier, like sales numbers, reviews, surveys, and anything else that backs up your arguments. So, to summarise, you've got to avoid trench warfare, understand the party's interests before, and outline solutions before you start. So I've tried to apply this to a business situation where most of us will find ourselves in. It could be either as the retailer or the person trying to sell the product. Lots of the examples in the book were about negotiating with terrorists and this kind of stuff, so it wasn't really that relevant, I don't think. I do feel that the relevant information could be useful to me, and you guys as well. The idea of keeping it a cooperation rather than a competition really hit home for me. And negotiations are often portrayed in films as like this showdown where it's you versus them. So this really gives a different perspective of what it's actually like in real life and how to actually get the best deal. And also keeping it about facts, reasons, and keeping emotions out of it completely is something I'm probably going to use in the future. You see these people on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den that are so emotionally attached to the product that they're sort of showing their emotion and not thinking rationally when they're negotiating with them. That's what you've got to try and avoid. Keep a neutral perspective and actually see it as what they'll be seeing it as. Purely facts and figures. Pretty much all of this I haven't actually implemented just yet, so I can't really speak from experience. but it also seems to be based on logic. It seems to make sense. A lot of negotiations is just about finding your own technique, finding your own thing that works, which I guess is true for everything in life, really. Hopefully this will be helpful to you guys, and hopefully it will help you negotiate like a beast. If you like this, then smash that like button. I'm going to be starting this new newsletter thing, so go to booksofthebillionaires.com, click on this link if you can, and I'll send you guys an email when the next video is out. And finally, destroy that subscribe button!